my parents didn't discipline me enough, and now that's the reason why my life is the way it is.
That's
The
not me.
Adam Bowers story.
It's hard to imagine having. I mean, I did okay actually. Well, I stopped playing video games for a lot, like in high school. I wasn't really playing video games, and in college, I was like afraid to play video games because it's so addicting. Um, but like it's just I imagine it definitely like has a tangible effect on a kid's like potential if they because you're just doing
It's a
that.
complete waste of time. Yeah.
Yeah, it's a huge waste of time.
Yeah. So, what kind of kids are you gonna raise?
I'm gonna raise the most productive members of society you've ever seen, buddy.
Well, you better sell your PlayStation.
I know that is that's
So
gonna be
you have
interesting. So
you're gonna have to actually discipline
I have
yourself.
to. I know I have to like be the kid that I want my kid to be.
Yeah,
Fucking
you have to be the
sucks.
parent. So
No way.
no more
I'm like
weed.
Peter Pan.
No more video games.
No, I'm gonna be like a Peter Pan kind of parent. I'm a little boy forever.
Yeah, but you're a parent, so that's not gonna work.
Isn't Peter Pan like a metaphor for parenting or something like that?
No,
Isn't that?
it's written by a child molester.
No way.
Of course it is.
I just felt like saying it like that. What do you do? What
He
kind?
like they made a movie about him.
There's a
Like
lot of flavors.
he was molesting children.
Finding Neverland?
Is that his movie?
That's
Yeah,
the
that's
movie.
about
Yeah,
it.
Johnny Depp.
Yeah, he is. He's like he like rapes multiple children in the movie. And it's like it's okay because it's Victorian England.
I can't believe that that's what the movie studio was saying. They really goofed by saying that it was okay.
Well, he's an artist. It's important that he's allowed to live outside the boundaries of
Yeah.
Christian society.
He's eccentric.
What's this dumb writer's name? J.M. Barrie.
So you're saying the Johnny Depp movie Finding Neverland is about J.M. Barrie molesting little kids? It
Yeah,
would
I
be
mean,
cool.
I never saw it, but yeah, I'm assuming.
That's
Because
really
look, listen to this. Listen to this. The story focuses on Scottish writer J.M. Barrie and his platonic relationship with Sylvia Lewin Davies and his close friendship with her sons named Jack, George, Peter, and Michael, who
close.
inspired the classic play Peter Pan or the Boy Who Never Grew Up. Oh, it's based on a play? I thought it was a novel. Interesting.
Yeah, yeah.
It's a play first, then a novel. Okay, that makes sense.
Well, like I think it was a big play because they did the fly, like the having somebody on a wire thing, and so it like that put asses in the seats. Just being able to see somebody fly around on a wire. That was like the first theater play where somebody was flying, I guess. I have no idea.
I doubt that.
Um,
I'm sure magicians and lots of other people were doing plays
boy.
with people on strings.
you always bring it back to magicians.
It's probably the first play to have a guy on a string.
Just guessing, just spitballing, but I'd put my money on that. That's why it became a big thing. You know what I mean? Like,
That's why it was. That's why it's a big hit because it's the first one to ever have a guy on a string and he's flying around and it's wonderful.
yeah, people in Victorian England were like, "Hey, you want to go see the play with the guy flying on a string?" I've heard it's the hot flying on a string is the hot new thing.
Hey, you want to see that new play about the child molester who floats around on a string?
Floating around molesting children. That should be what Peter Pan is about.
I like a lot of visual effects when I watch my story about child molesters.
Yeah. It would be cool if the guy who made Finding Neverland like covertly made it about that. I never have heard this about Jamberry.
Well, there was a lot of press about it when that movie came out.
Oh, really? Damn. Were they like, was it like, this is crazy because Jamberry's a child molester? Why are we making this like magical movie about him with kids?
No, they were all like, "This is really cool."
Oh, a lot of articles came out on the pro side.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Hey, I want to see a visual effects film about a child molester going around the world helping all the little kids.
Yeah. For one night every year, he go visits every child in the world and molests them.
It's cool because he has a superpower where he can pop into any child's bedroom,
Yeah.
just magically appears.
I these all these Santa movies have got me thinking about how weird it is that there's this like Christmas tradition involving sitting on an old stranger's lap. Isn't that weird? Who would think of such a thing?
Look, he's not giving the presents out for free.
Right.
You know,
That's
he
Santa's
wants something in
payment.
return. Yeah.
He gets to smell your kid's hair.
Yeah, he gets to like diddle them.
Yeah. He's got
That's why he wears velvet pants, because his rock hard boner
yeah.
is tenting out the top of the lump, and all the little kids get to writhe upon it.
Yeah, I have one of the most magical memories of my childhood was writhing on Santa's pants tent at Christmas, telling him that I wanted a My Pal too.
What do you think a nutcracker is? They're conditioning children so they get used to putting nuts in their mouth.
Yeah.
And then Santa does it.
Yeah. Santa is the nutcracker.
Well, he's the nut, and then he puts.
Oh, I see. The kid is the nutcracker.
Oh, I like your theory too, though. If he's putting the kid's nuts in his mouth.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, those nutcrackers are kind of Santa-like. They have beards a lot of times.
He's like, grab my handle.
Yeah. Anyway, I'm really happy about having to watch so many fucking Santa movies.
Yeah, my friend was asking me. He's like, do you love Christmas movies or something? And it's just like, no, I just think it's funny to make, with this one, I thought it was funny to make you watch it. Just this horrible movie that should have been forgotten.
Yeah. I was pretty pissed. Like halfway, like a half an hour into the movie, Whit and I were pretty pissed at you.
Yeah, but then after the first half hour, that's when things pick up and the movie becomes a lot better.
Yeah. Well, yeah, the second hour is honestly the movie is pretty good at the end, I would say.
It's pretty entertaining.
Becomes a fucking real movie.
Yeah, so the origin of Santa Claus the movie is the producers and screenwriters of Superman with Christopher Reeve. They were just knocking those movies out. They had done Superman 1, 2, and 3 and Supergirl.
I was going to say that the effects are very Superman-like. Like the Aurora Borealis stuff.
Yeah, and also like when they're flying around with the rear projection, that's basically what Superman's whole cool VFX thing was. Like,
oh.
Are you familiar with the Christopher Reeve Superman movies?
I've definitely seen the first one. I maybe have seen like the second, but it was like when I was a kid.
Yeah,
but now that you mention it, this movie is like basically like a Santa Claus version of those old Superman movies.
Exactly, and
it's kind of cool.
As a kid in the '80s, before Batman came out,
Superman was your second favorite superhero, or
I remember
Santa Claus. Damn, I was too excited about saying that Santa Claus was your second favorite superhero.
Well, my favorite superhero movie is RoboCop. And even though it's not considered a superhero movie, I consider it one. But
that's fun.
Besides RoboCop,
what a fun guy you are.
Superman. When I was a kid, that was all we had. I would watch like Superman 2 and 3
What
on
about
TV.
What about that Indian version of Spider-Man?
Well, as a 4 and 5-year-old, I didn't have access to
world cinema.
Exotic imports like that.
Yeah, that's true. I know it was slim pickings. Kids these days, they don't know how good they got it. They have any superhero flavor they want. They can thumb through them and pick. You just had to eat fucking Superman shit.
Yeah, and Superman 3 is just fucking terrible. But as a kid, I thought it was funny. I'm like, ooh, Richard Pryor's in it. This is cool.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, how is Richard Pryor in the third Superman movie?
Oh, he's great, Adam. He's definitely sober, and he's being hilarious.
Is he funny in the movie, or is he really weird and obviously coked out?
He's he First of all, Richard Pryor never got sober, even after his accident where he almost died, his like suicide attempt.
I respect that.
So he was never sober after that, and always continued to use. And
Did he stop smoking crack at least? Wasn't that the thing that set him on fire?
no, he was freebasing. So like he
Oh, okay.
was before crack was invented. What you had to do when you smoked cocaine was use a torch.
Like a butane. Is that what
Yeah,
that? Yeah.
like a butane torch, because a lighter isn't hot enough to light cocaine. And so that was the big innovation with crack, was that you could light it with a lighter.
Damn, that's genius. I'm so glad the CIA made that for us. We should be thanking them.
Well, those wars don't fund themselves.
That's true.
But yeah, so he's pretty fucked up in the movie. The
That's
Superman
cool.
3 is pretty god awful. I downloaded Supergirl and was watching a little bit of that because that's the same director as Santa Claus the movie, and that movie is hilariously bad.
I thought it was supposed to be
It
good. Actually, I think it's not good.
Supergirl
Yeah, I thought I heard that it was
with Helen Slater from the 80s, or like the TV show.
from the 80s.
Have you?
I don't fucking know. No,
Yeah,
yeah, I meant from the 80s, but I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong.
yeah, it's a piece of shit.
Got it.
Um, a good Helen Slater movie, if you want to see one, is The Legend of Billie Jean.
Oh, she's Billie Jean, huh?
But yeah, Santa Claus the movie. I mean, so apparently Warner Brothers execs saw a work print of Supergirl and were like, "This guy is a genius. This movie's a masterpiece. We definitely need to get this guy in the next big movie." And the original director attached to Santa Claus the movie was John Carpenter,
Oh, wow.
and
Imagine
he wanted Brian Dennehy to play Santa Claus.
that we would be living in the timeline where Trump didn't get elected if John Carpenter did the Santa Claus movie.
Well, I don't think it would actually be a good movie if he had made it.
I'm just kidding. There's no way
You
to
know,
make this like the problem with the reason why I feel like you want to give this movie a little bit more credit or whatever is because like the concept of making a movie about Santa Claus is so bad and hard to execute well. You're just like, damn, it's hard to picture a much better movie based on Santa Claus than this because it gives you what
I
you want.
I don't agree with that. I think any premise can work as a movie. It's just in the execution, and of course, like the story. I think there
I
could be a
disagree.
good Santa Claus movie. Also, a lot of people say there will never be a good Superman movie. It'll never work. But I think there is like a good Superman movie out there that they just haven't done yet.
Yeah, it's called Batman v Superman: Dawn of Justice. It's been made. The Snyder cut. That's the good version.
I think there could be a good Santa Claus movie. There almost is.
Needs to be dark and gritty.
No, it doesn't. That has nothing to do. It just needs a fucking plot.
Okay, if you say so.
It's so fucking funny how I would love to know what the pitch is, but
Well, that's why the movie gets good at the very end, is because suddenly there's a plot. I feel like.
okay, so let's break down the movie real fast. Like,
Okay.
not spend the entire podcast going over it like we
Yeah,
normally do.
God, please don't.
So, like, the first 32 minutes of this movie should be about 5 to 10 minutes long.
Yeah.
In the opening scene, Santa Claus is like a normal human who is delivering presents in this old village in like the 1500s, or no, like the 1300s.
He's
in
just like the
Northern Europe.
village.
He's a wood chopper.
Yeah, he makes little figurines. What does he call them? Bendy-combs?
No, those are the Vendicombs or whatever, the
Oh.
Vendiger, whatever weird
I
term
thought they
they're
were
using.
called
Those are the
Bendy-combs.
those are like the elf people. Yeah, so he's just like a guy who he doesn't have a red suit. He wears like actual furs, and in his like fucking pagan, his like pagan village.
Yeah.
He rides a sleigh with Donner and Blitzen, and they make a big deal of it. He's like, "Thank you, Donner and Blitzen," and they're puppet reindeer with like really expressive faces.
Yeah, kind of never ending story ish.
Yes,
Wit
very
thought
never
that they
ending
were
story.
real for a second.
They're
So,
pretty good.
yeah.
Like the one thing about this movie is that the budget is completely astronomical for how stupid it is.
Yeah, like it's kind of like it's like a movie or an instance of a movie where the budget actually is the reason why there's anything good in the movie. Is it having a huge budget?
Yes, the spectacle of it all.
Yeah.
Yeah, like he's in a village. There's like tons of children, tons of characters, tons of villagers in this one
Yeah.
giant house. He delivers them presents, and then I
He's
guess he
kind of
go.
like it kind of reminds me of that Seinfeld episode where Kramer's making pasta figurines of everybody and like taking them around to his neighbors. That's basically what he's doing with the bendy comes.
Yes, he's making little Jerry Seinfeld.
Yeah. And then one of
And
the corkscrew bendy comes goes up an old man's ass.
boob 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 boob. Boob.
Yeah, that'd be awesome.
So that Kramer Claus,
Yeah.
he leaves that night and he gets stuck in the snow and starts yelling the N word at everybody. No, he gets stuck in the snow.
That part was weird.
He starts to die. Oh, and Mrs. Claus is with him, and it's not played by. He's not Brian Dennehy. I don't know who this actor is. It's just some TV guy.
I've seen him in stuff before. I've definitely seen him in. I think he's in The Big Lebowski. He's he's the Big Lebowski.
Wow, you are 100%.
I fucking I
completely
know
wrong.
I got it. I'm so confident in this.
You're
I
so dumb. You
I
are
did
so
it.
dumb.
Did you
Isn't
looking it
that-
up?
No, every time I Google this movie, I get the Santa Claus instead with Tim Allen, which is like completely obliterated the memory of this movie.
Yeah. Well, that's a very clever play on the title, I would say. The Santa Claus. Like, fuck. I wish I thought of something that clever once in my life.
Oh, it is the Big Lebowski.
See, I told you. I knew it. I knew it. You gotta like pick up on when I'm this confident because it doesn't happen that often. But
The beard threw me off.
yeah,
Well, you're always so confident. You're usually so wrong.
yeah. I know. But this time I was like really confident.
He came
But yeah.
across like it felt like a very mediocre TV actor in this movie. He did not seem like a character actor at all.
Yeah. I mean, God, yeah. Like, how could there be like a performance of Santa Claus in a movie like this that's like redefines the character and stuff? You know what I mean? Like Joker style shit.
All you gotta do is hire Robert De Niro.
Yeah, that's true.
Hey, come on, Donna. Come on, Blitzen. Wake up, fuckos. Let's go. So then, yeah, they're dying. They're freezing to death out in the snow. But then a bunch of elves
Yeah.
like transport them to the North Pole.
They look like his toys. That's what he like. He's like, are those bendy comes? And Mrs. Claus is like, no, I think they're little people. And then the elf is like, we prefer to be called elves. You bitch. And then he says that. But it's weird. Mrs. Claus does say the right, uses the right terminology, which is kind of cool for talking about little people. And then she's corrected, and she's like, "No, we're elves."
Yeah, that's so cool.
Just
What a cool thing for the movie to do.
that was one of the coolest things that happened until this point. I thought
Hey, this lady's pretty cool.
she's with it.
She's like, get those goddamn midget fingers away from me, you little creeps.
Yeah,
I'm gonna bite them off.
yeah,
So this, and then there's like a huge introduction scene with like, you see the North Pole. They basically go through the entire Santa mythos and try to explain it. So
it's like the Batman Begins of Santa movies.
there's
This part.
he has an invisible like castle, like a
Yeah.
fortress factory thing. There are hundreds of elves.
It's a fortress of solitude.
Exactly. It's
Same
basically
shit.
the Fortress of Solitude.
Yeah, he
They
has like an army of elves.
they're all male.
Yeah, they all fuck.
There's no chicks. A
They
lot of
don't
gay
never have
sex
to
going
worry
on,
about, pregnancies or anything like that. So they just have the wildest orgies at Santa's workshop.
and they have little band-aids on their bottoms
Yeah.
to stop the bleeding.
Yeah. That was a weird scene when they showed those.
They like bandage each other's buttholes.
Yeah. A
Well,
little
that's also how
cute.
they give. That's also how they give birth and procreate. They're butt babies.
Oh, damn. I didn't know that about the elves. I didn't know that lore.
You gotta pay attention to this movie. It goes by pretty fast.
Yeah, it does. Yeah, this movie has like an hour long first act that is,
Well, it's 32 minutes long.
I mean, what happens that gets it out of the first act in your opinion?
He becomes Santa Claus.
Yeah, I guess.
You know, that's the
Yeah.
first act. It's not a great first act.
Yeah. I mean, like, I don't like nothing. Things don't really start happening though after that. I guess.
The main issue, of course, is that there's zero, like Santa Claus has no wants or needs or any desire.
Yeah, he just has this fuck palace of little people.
So
He's got it made.
about 25 minutes, an old wizard elf comes out,
Burgess
like
Meredith.
yeah, like Lord of the Rings or some shit. Just like in the Two Towers when the elves show up, like this army of like, ooh, special elves show up, and
Two other elves are holding his beard, like walking with his really long beard. It's kind of like holding pockets for elves.
well, his beard is very important. It can't touch the ground.
Yeah, it's like the American flag.
It's sacred, you know.
But there's also so like yeah, there is like in this first act there is like spectacle and stuff, and there's like a lot of like dancing and like elves are like in unison working and
It's also
singing.
it's completely boring, and this is I had probably almost fallen asleep multiple times. Like I
Of
would have
course,
to
yeah,
pause it and just like rest my eyes for 5 minutes and just kind of like sleep,
yeah.
and then just kind of like, all right, let's do this. Let's just get through
All
this
right, you
fucking.
gotta like splash some
It's
cold water on your face.
yeah, it's pretty boring. I mean, it's just so boring. Like it could be done in one montage in 5 minutes in a modern movie.
Well, the thing about like the Santa thing, like yeah, he has like no wants or whatever, and it kind of made me realize like, and I felt this with the Ernest Goes to Christmas movie too, like the whole like fantasy about like somebody becoming Santa. It's kind of like Harry Potter. It's like about getting. It's the fantasy of getting magic powers, but for no reason, like and doing nothing for it, not having to like earn it, just having somebody come up and be like, "You're a wizard, Harry," here you go. And you're like, all right, fuck, yeah, sweet, I'm Santa now. Let's rock.
Well, they also call him the chosen one, so they make it seem like he's some sort of Jesus-like figure in this.
Yeah. It's funny to think about like how there's this actually is this magic in the world, but
Yes,
it's just used to give toys to kids. And it's
and
not
they are
used on
shitty.
anything else.
They are shitty toys.
Yeah.
Just like primary colors, painted pieces of wood, like really shitty.
Well, this movie's like that
Like we
Wit kept saying like who is this movie for? Cuz like
children.
yeah, but like in the 80s like a little kid they don't want
I
those
watched this.
toys.
I watched this movie.
Yeah, but kids that aren't like retarded.
Well, they solved that problem later on, I guess. But
Oh,
yeah,
true.
like,
I guess that's the conflict that we'll get
but
into.
like, then there's like after he's blessed by Burgess Meredith, and he's like he takes his first flight, and they explain everything. They explain that this is how he can go to all the children's houses. This is how he can go down the chimney. This is
Yeah.
how he can do all the bullshit.
Oh, they give the reindeer like magic powder.
They get magic food that sparkles, and Santa Claus is flying around. They have this like insane montage that looks like it's at a speed racer of children receiving presents, and then like Santa Claus flying across the frame, and then there's like a compositive background. There's like all these layers of really difficult 80s compositing going on,
Yeah.
and hundreds of years go by, and we just watch this fucking montage until we get to like 1985, and that's around 45 minutes into the movie, and there's basically an hour left in the movie, and this is when the actual story starts. And this is also when the screenwriters just go completely fucking crazy.
Well, they're like, shit,
So
we got to do something, I guess, now that He's Santa Claus.
Yes, and there's one other big character played by Dudley Moore as Patch, and he's an elf, and he's not very funny. He's just like, I guess you're supposed to think it's funny, like, oh, it's Arthur, right? Like,
Yeah.
ooh, that's Dudley Moore. He's British. Like as a kid, I never understood why people like Dudley Moore or why he was in movies.
Yeah, I mean, I've seen Arthur, and I remember, or I've watched a little bit of Arthur, and like thought he was annoying, and I turned it off.
Right, and when I was a kid, I hadn't seen Arthur, so I just saw this movie and like he basically said yes to anything in the 80s and whatever had the most money, he would be in it.
Yeah, I get why they cast Dudley Moore in this. I think it's a perfect casting.
Ha 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 ha. I'm Patch.
Yeah, he always says little. The one like attempt at writing jokes in this movie is like puns on elf, like using the word elf and things. Like Patch will say like I'm brimming with elf confidence instead of self confidence,
It's
and things
fucking
like say like elf
hilarious.
made instead of self made. You know, it's basically always self to elf, and then it's good shit.
And they're probably just making so much money working on this movie.
Yeah, it does seem like a movie where everybody's on coke, all the producers and stuff.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, this is also like this is why there are screenwriting books now and why that became
Because
like
of
a
Santa Claus
corporate
the movie.
because of like corporate that's like corporate movies started having following those rules because like all these financial people started moving into the movie business and they didn't understand story the way like the old studio guard did
Yeah.
and they didn't understand the 70s kind of storytelling.
Yeah,
So
the kind of character driven sort of stuff.
so they would make movies like this which are it's basically a full-length commercial and it's completely structureless and it's total chaos. So
Yeah.
I imagine like enough failures, like big budget failures like this, started making them like, okay, we gotta like figure out some fucking rules because I mean, we got Santa Claus, we got elves, we got Dudley Moore. I don't know what else we got to do. This movie's not making any money.
Yeah. It was a beautiful time before they started reading Story by Robert McKee, whatever.
I mean, they needed something to
Of
figure
course.
it out.
Of course. Writing a movie is hard.
Plus, also your assignment is horrible. You have to write Santa Claus the movie.
Those 4 words just staring at you on the page. Just being like, come on,
Right.
motherfucker, try it.
All right, let's start with the origin. All right, so we got his origin. Okay, and then now what?
Yeah.
So this is when it starts making a very like Superman turn. Patch is like a big character. Like I think if a modern screenwriter wrote this movie, it would focus entirely on Patch. Mm-hmm. I mean, like
He's like the new
yeah.
elf or something like that.
Yeah. So Dudley Moore, he's like smart, but he's also stupid. But he invents a machine to make toys faster, like an
Yeah.
assembly line machine. Like
I think it's a
like
metaphor for like the Industrial Revolution.
yes, and but also there's like an '80s like car robot anti-robot factory kind of thing going on.
Yeah.
And there's this contest to see who's going to be Santa Claus's new assistant because by 1985 there's now like billions of people in the world and it's making him very tired to fly all around the world.
Yeah.
So Patch, he has his machine going and he makes all these toys really fast. And the other guy is what's his name, like Pouchy or Poochie or Poppy. His name is Poppy. He like hand makes the toys and he's like, I think we should do it in the traditional way.
Totally. This is
Yeah.
such a fucking allegory for like, modern society creeping in, making us lose our way, making us lose touch with Santa.
But also, it's not like what happens is all the toys Patch made with his automatic machine end up breaking. And there's a funny scene where there's like little kids like playing with them and their like toys break and they like start crying and they like fall down. And
Little kid's car gets like run over by a school bus.
yeah, there's this one dumb kid and she's on like a little like power wheel kind of thing. And then the front wheel rolls away and then the whole thing breaks and then a car just runs it over.
Yeah. And the car could have easily just completely run over the kid too.
And it's such a horribly directed scene because all three kids are like on the same corner of the block.
That makes sense. That's how you stand on blocks, right?
I mean, I guess it's efficient, but it's just fucking dumb. It's like all the toys broke, boom.
Right. Yeah. There's like
So,
three kids playing with Santa toys at the same time, and they're all breaking at the same time. It's a nightmare.
and there's all this like established shit they had to do in terms of screenwriting that to make sense out of it. So, all the kids' letters can float around the world up to the North Pole and go down Santa's chimney.
Yeah.
And when they return the toys, all the broken toys get sent back through Santa's chimney. And there's just like a big pile. And then there's this like
Yeah.
big dramatic scene where Santa Claus has to like remove the assistant apron,
Yeah.
yeah, away from Patch and give it to Poppy.
Yeah. Poppy's like the Dwight of the off of the Santa's workshop. So
And he's like a dim, stupid person.
Yeah.
Like they don't give him any positive attributes, but they're just like, don't you ever do anything different.
yeah,
You know, that's the message of the movie, my opinion.
that's the lesson.
Yeah. So then, while this is all going on Earth, there's all these other storylines happening. There are two children in New York City. One's rich and one's poor, and it's a rich little girl who lives in a giant mansion, and she sees this like tough street kid wearing like leather
Yeah.
who
He's an orphan.
he's an orphan and he just like
Homeless
wanders
orphan.
around New York City.
Yeah. I like the McDonald's scene where he's just like pressed against the window.
There's a great scene on like in like cold Manhattan. There's like a bunch of happy families inside a McDonald's eating dinner,
Yeah.
sharing food and smiling, and he's like licking his lips, and like
Yeah.
there is no McDonald's in any major city that nice.
Yeah, the McDonald's in New York especially are like pretty wild from what I've seen.
They're pretty awful. Like there was a downtown LA McDonald's that closed a few years ago. That was maybe the most horrible place I've ever seen in the world.
Yeah. There would be like a homeless guy shitting against the window in a normal McDonald's, not like a cute little orphan kid pressed up against it.
Yeah. There'd be a homeless guy shitting inside the McDonald's.
Yeah.
I think in San Francisco recently there was like a story about like a guy who brought a dead raccoon into a McDonald's or a fast food place.
Okay. And then what?
And then it was on video. There's just like a funny conversation.
Oh, I see.
But there's a lot of crazy shit. Like I worked at a McDonald's when I was 15 and crazy shit happens there all the time. Like, you know, there's like people freaking out. There's people getting out of jail and that's the first place they go. Like my coworkers were getting out of jail and coming to work. Like,
Everybody who's at the McDonald's is like freshly out of jail.
yeah, like,
And then you being at 15.
or like there'd be like rich people who come in every day and just eat the same thing and they'd be like really overweight and like I would literally like have the same customers every day and recognize them and give them the same food.
Rich people would come into the McDonald's every day.
Well, I was in a rich neighborhood in like
Oh, yeah.
Pleasanton in Northern California.
That sounds cool.
So like people would come in with like there'd be rich people and just like homeless people.
Damn. Tale of two cities.
Yeah, and like if you're in Manhattan, no good restaurants, you know, for this little kid to look through the window.
Yeah. Of
It's
course.
not a big restaurant town.
Yeah. He would just be hanging out at the McDonald's for sure.
Not a pizza place, not a fucking Chinese restaurant.
Of course. Yeah. Just that old New York institution, McDonald's.
And also there's like a really gross like rich person like aesthetic to this whole movie. Like being in Manhattan
Yeah.
is kind of gross. It
Well,
could have taken
it's kind of like Oliver and Company, this part, which is made around the same time, where it's like the little girl in Oliver and Company is like this. She doesn't have any parents. She has like a nanny who's like, she doesn't have her parents aren't like a presence, but she like lives in this mansion by herself with this nanny, basically.
I guess you could say it's Dickensian. Because, you know, Oliver and Company is based on a novel called Oliver Twist that was written 100 years ago.
Oh, I thought the novel was called Oliver and Company. Just kidding.
It's pretty funny.
All right. I know that about Oliver and Company. I'm not a fucking idiot.
So yeah, it's a tale of two cities. You know, you got the rich people, you got the poor people.
Yeah.
There's also this like extremely greedy businessman played by John Lithgow, who's easily the most entertaining person in the entire movie.
He's kind of like in a different movie, I feel like. But it's like a better movie.
Yeah, he's really going for it.
He
I
plays
forget
a toy company owner who's
a
like a
tycoon.
greedy.
He's like a tycoon
He's a
though.
tycoon, and they give him like that inbred rich person look. Like he has like it looks like he's wearing big teeth, and he's just like a old school tycoon guy.
Well,
But
he's also acting exactly like Lex Luthor, played by Gene Hackman in the Superman
I
movies.
see, damn man, you could watch
So
Superman and just be like, I'm getting my Santa fix right now
yeah, like they're just these these screenwriters are just cribbing
from their
from
own
all the
shit.
other from all the other Superman movies they wrote.
It's a good approach, actually. I kind of get it, and I don't know. Yeah, it gives it this weird quality, knowing that it's like from basically the same team and like process and like approach as the Superman movies, but for Santa Claus.
You think that's a good process?
It's like make for the for the time it makes it like bizarre in like an interesting way.
Yeah, but this is unfortunately kind of what happened to movies anyway
Sure.
afterwards.
Yeah. But yeah, the John Lithgow guy, he's like being investigated because his toys are like really dangerous, and like his dolls are like flammable.
Well, they have a teddy bear in like a Senate subcommittee. They're doing a hearing and they bring out a teddy bear and they rip its head off and then they pour out the contents and it's like broken glass and nails and asbestos. It's like truly heinous shit.
Yeah.
So his like company's ruined.
What was he
And
thinking? Putting broken glass and nails in the teddy bear?
I guess he got a, I guess, you know, he probably got a good deal buying wreckage from Tony Soprano,
Yeah.
you know, and just stuffing it into these teddy bears and reselling it.
Yeah. That's a good
So
plan.
his toys are recalled, and Patch, who's now in New York City, he's seeing all the recalled toys being taken off the shelves, and he thinks, "Oh, he must be very popular with selling. Their toys are going like hotcakes."
Yeah. Oh, he like runs away from the North Pole because he's been disgraced.
Yeah. So he goes to BZ Toys, and apparently he was supposed to play Mr. McSixenplex, like that. There was that talk of him in one of the Superman sequels.
Who is that?
Mr. McSixenplex.
Okay.
His name is supposed to be impronounceable, and the only way to stop him, I think, is if Superman says his name.
Oh, that's like a Super Friends villain, like
Yeah,
old kind. Yeah, I hear you. The Bizarro kind of thing.
well, he's a big character in Superman.
Oh shit, Superman sucks.
You don't know what you're talking about.
I mean,
Just because you don't know who a character is doesn't mean you.
so this is a good character, you're saying, Mr. McSixenplex.
He could be. But
All
anyway,
right,
like
fine.
Dudley Moore is basically acting like him, and he's like
How so?
he's like popping around the room, like turning off and on
Oh yeah, how did they do
and
that
moving.
scene? That's a one shot thing that they do.
Yeah, how do they do it, Adam?
He just like hides or like what?
You just stop the camera and then you move them to a different position and you start
Oh,
rolling
but
it.
John Lithgow is in it as well, in the shot, moving around and stuff.
Well, isn't he popping?
Oh, there's little jumps. You think?
I mean, that's how they would do it back. Like every effect in this movie is done the way you and your friends would have done it. Like there's nothing special about any of these visual effects.
I'm in awe. I'm
I
humbled
mean,
by the craft.
I'm watching the scene.
Okay.
Looks like he jumps.
Damn. They got me. Worked on me.
Well, John Lithgow's so good physically. Yeah, he's definitely popping.
What's up
He
with John
can act.
Lithgow, by the way? Is that Stewie? Is Stewie just like John Lithgow?
No, Stewie is Rex Harrison from My Fair Lady.
Oh, I remember like as soon as Family Guy came out and I saw it for the first time, I was like, oh, they're doing a baby that's like John Lithgow.
John Lithgow's not British.
Right, but I guess maybe in Third Rock from the Sun, he had a British accent or something, or did he just
Oh,
have that
you
fancy
just
theater accent?
you just have no understanding of culture or any history of entertainment. Like,
I'm pretty sure I'm right.
I'm pretty sure you're one of the dumbest people in the world. Ho- Hosting a podcast about something.
Agree to disagree. So anyway, Santa comes during all this.
No,
Santa,
no, 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 no,
well,
no.
Santa meets the
Wait,
orphan.
wait, 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 wait. We got to finish the John Lithgow,
Go ahead. Yeah, yeah.
Dudley
The
Moore.
beat. You're right.
So Dudley Moore tells BZ Toys or whatever his face is that he can make toys for no money, and also he tells him like I don't need to get paid, I just need a warm place to sleep.
Yeah.
So they come up with a plan to do they basically are going to become rival Santa Clauses with Patch.
Yeah, it's pretty diabolical.
And the toy and their big item is going to be candy and lollipops made out of the food the reindeer eat that makes kids like float in the air.
Yeah, and I don't get how that's a toy that Dudley Moore isn't like inventing. Seems like he's just putting that thing that he took into a lollipop. You know, what does he need all the?
Well, what's also funny is the thing that he does invent that is incredible is he invents a flying car to deliver all of these toys
Yeah,
or all these presents. And a flying car is one of the greatest inventions possible.
no, that has
And
the
they
same. That has the powder on it too.
Right, Adam. But if you had a fucking flying car that you could
Right.
drive around Manhattan and go to the North Pole and visit every house in the world in one night. Also, yeah, he can slow down time and deliver all the presents.
Yeah, it's a good
Kind
car.
of a it's kind of a plot hole.
It's like a Tesla.
It's more amazing than a Tesla. It's like a fucking spaceship. Like
I mean, have you been
every
in a Tesla?
everything about it is so incredible, and it's just like a thing that they thought they're just like, oh, and yeah, he has a flying car and he can travel all through the world in one night.
Yeah, and then he passes out the lollipops, and little kids
And they just
like,
and then like, oh, the lollipops, that's so profitable.
yeah, these are just like the stupidest fucking businessmen ever. They don't realize that they have a flying car.
Exactly. Like, or like the fact that now people can fly, like that. How many problems does that solve?
Yeah, only like it's weird that adults don't get into the flying lollipop game, or like aren't into that. You know, it's like just like little kids for play sake. Maybe they're like very short bursts of floatiness.
Well, that's
But-
what it is. But still, it's an amazing thing, and also it's just like the fact that these parents let their kids eat this shit.
Well, in the '80s, you know, the parents just let their kids do anything.
Yeah. So while all this shit's going on, Santa Claus is like he's like depressed now,
Yeah,
and
he feels very little dickhead.
yeah, and he meets Joe, the orphan boy.
Yeah.
And he and there's like very, very much hinted like child molester kind of scene where he's like, hey, do you want to check out my sleigh? Like,
Yeah, he's like, "Come on in my van."
do you want to come in? Want to go for a ride?
Yeah,
You want to?
there's presents in my van.
Why don't you reach into my pocket and see what you can find in there?
Yeah, that happens.
oh.
So Santa meets that orphan kid, and he flies him around, and he meets the orphan meets the little rich girl, and they're like connecting, and she's being like, "Oh, he's an orphan, like I want to help him and stuff," but you know, not actually doing anything.
Yeah,
Classic
like
rich person
she
shit.
could just fucking help him. Just let
Yeah.
him sleep in your mansion.
It's really funny
she-
that the next Christmas, when Santa goes back, the kid is still an orphan. I thought that was really
and
funny.
also, while they're flying around that night, Joe and Santa Claus is trying to show off, to like really seal the deal with this kid.
Yeah, really get him to take his pants off.
Really
for him.
get him hot and bothered. He tries
Yeah.
to do a super duper looper, which is a vertical 360,
Yeah.
like a roller coaster. But Donner and Blitzen get like freaked out, and they can't handle it.
Donner's like definitely like the weakest link in the reindeer thing, it seems like.
It's also annoying the way that like the reindeer can fly, and then the sleigh is like pulled in the air, but I felt like the sleigh would just be like dangling off the back of the floating reindeer. Like
Yeah.
like there's nothing to keep that up.
It's like
And yeah, all
when a cat is walking around with like some poop hanging out of its butthole or something that hasn't been cleaned off. That's what the sleigh would be should be like.
and there's no or wait, like all the visual effects of course look just like Superman. It's just like the shittiest rear projection.
Yeah.
But in the 80s that's all we had.
Day
So
for
we were
night
just
shots of New York City.
the
Like,
cinematography is actually pretty good.
dude, the cinematography in this movie is fucking amazing. I thought for most of it, like it,
It's just
even that McDonald's scene looked incredible.
it's just so expensive looking. But
Yeah,
the money's on screen. It's like that kind of 80s production value where they're just spending I think $40 million and it's all on screen because there's besides Dudley Moore, no one's really that big of an actor.
right, right.
And I'm sure he was probably paid like $1 million or something. Like something not even that crazy.
Yeah,
So, yeah, a year goes by or not does a year go by? No, I
yeah.
think like
There's no like in between Christmas time in this movie. You never see like what happens in June, what they're doing up at the North Pole, where Santa's just like walking around in the open robe.
well, I thought after the so like the other thing that happens is all the little kids are eating the lollipops made by Dudley Moore, and there's like a montage of kids like floating
Yeah,
in the air, and it becomes a huge hit. So that BZ's like, we got to do it again. We got to go bigger and better. Like we gave away the toys for free this year. That was like a way to garner public sympathy and gain back trust. But now we're gonna sell it. We're gonna like sell the new candy.
that's a pretty
And we're
good
gonna,
development, I think. The one thing they do kind of good is that this is like an anti-capitalist movie. It's kind of cool.
are you joking?
What? Well, I mean, he's a businessman. He's the
With the
capitalist in the
McDonald's
movie.
commercial,
Besides that, that's why it's confusing.
and also like the idea that like, oh, we don't think automatic production is the way to go. We need traditional stuff. But eat a fucking chicken McNugget or
Yeah.
a goddamn Big Mac.
Yeah,
I
totally.
mean, it's completely hypocritical on every level.
I mean, yeah.
So the big plot development is that the new candy canes that are gonna like be given out at next Christmas are or Christmas 2 because BZ gets like is like we're gonna take over Christmas. I'm gonna take over Santa Claus. We're gonna be more loved than Santa Claus. The new candy canes are dangerous and like I guess like kill people or like they explode.
Oh yeah, they explode. But Christmas too, he was saying is like that's going to be in like July. That's
Yeah.
Christmas in July.
So then the orphans you find out the little girl like is related to BZ.
Of course.
So then Joe, I think, finds out about the evil plan, and he's trying to tell Santa Claus, but he doesn't know how to get in contact with Santa Claus, and he gets in contact with Dudley Moore. They then take all the candy canes and put it in the flying car, and they're going to go to the North Pole.
Yeah.
And then the girl Cornelia, Santa Claus just pops into her room, and then she starts telling him what's going on, because I guess she wrote a letter. And Santa Claus is trying to get to Joe and Patch, who are flying in their flying car. So there's a big chase sequence at the end where there are two parties flying over the North Pole. Horrible visual effects, of course.
Yeah.
The flying car starts sparking in the back. All the candy canes are like smoking and burning.
Yeah, they're about to explode.
And then Santa Claus, he first tried to do the super duper looper. I turned to my girlfriend. I was like, I wonder if he'll be able to do that by the end of the movie. Mm-hmm. You know,
What did
classic.
she say?
She just said, ugh. She did not like the movie at all.
Come
And
on.
she left right after that scene. I think she went to bed right after that scene. And she was on her phone the whole time. I was just watching it. She wasn't really watching it.
Sure.
So then Santa Claus starts to super duper looper. The reindeer don't freak out. He does a vertical 360. Patch and the kid explode out of the car, fly in the air, and then Santa Claus goes underneath them and catches them.
Yeah. It's awesome.
And that's it. That's the arc of the entire movie. That's everything Santa Claus wanted and needed to accomplish.
Yeah.
And it's just, I mean, I can't believe a fucking, like a $40 million 1985 movie is based on that construct. Like, I imagine the pitch was just the opening scene, the opening half hour. Like, there's no way they could have pitched this story.
Well, that's like something like that they would pitch the opening half hour and then like executives would be like, And then what happens? Where's the bad guy? And they're like, fuck. Uh,
Lex Luthor.
yeah. There's the yeah. They just pull up
Uh,
their old Superman draft,
exactly.
auto replace Lex Luthor with KB Toys or whatever his name is.
Well, then we got typewriters back then, so they just
Oh
fucking.
shit. Okay, that's hard. That sounds hard.
They got the
That's
whiteout.
work.
They just
That's
had
actual
this.
work.
The screenplay was thick with whiteout.
Yeah. And then so Santa flies back to the North Pole after Christmas is over. Santa flies back to the North Pole with Patch and with the orphan and the rich girl. And then the orphan they're all in the Santa's workshop with all the elves. And it seems like the orphan is going to become Santa and Mrs. Claus's son because they can't have kids because Santa can't get it up because they haven't invented dick pills yet. So they keep the orphan. And then they also say like that the little girl, they're like, what are we going to do about the rich girl? And one of them is like, why doesn't she stay here for the year? And then you can drop her off when you go back next Christmas. So they basically kidnap a little girl for a year at the end
Yeah,
of
and
the
they
movie.
have to live in a fucking gulag in in the North Pole,
Yeah.
are surrounded by like 1,800 little midgets
Yeah. Hedonistic.
who have never seen a woman
Oh,
in
man.
600 years, and
Yeah.
they just probably destroy both those kids.
It's like an old boy when he gets out at first and he's in the elevator with the woman and he's just like gripping the sides because he's so,
He's so horny.
yeah.
Burgess Meredith probably had like 3 elves pull back his pubic hair because his bush was so big.
Just like this, like drapes, just pulling it.
Yeah.
Folding it back. That's cool. Yeah, elves' pubes don't stop growing. That's one of the things about elves that I've read in books.
And all elves have chodes for penises.
Yeah, really wide, really wide.
Just short, stout, hard, square-shaped penises.
Yeah, and very nice, big, heavy balls,
So
solid
then
balls.
although before all this happened, of course, John Lithgow got arrested.
No, he was about to
And-
get arrested.
Right, he's about to get arrested,
I
and
don't need to correct you on that. I guess.
he eats his candy canes, and he's like, "I'm gonna fly away," and then he goes out the window,
He ate too many.
and he just like floats. He just floats away.
He floats
I
into
guess
space.
I guess he just dies.
Yeah, I think he floats to the outer atmosphere and then dies from lack of oxygen. Is what the movie is implying, which is cool. That's a cool way for a villain to die.
Well, yeah, a lot of '80s movies end with a villain falling off a building, like Die Hard.
Totally, Batman.
Yeah, and this one he just floats vertically away.
Whoa, what do you think it means?
I mean, these screenwriters just know what they're doing. They know
I
how to
think it's a
put the
metaphor
twist.
for capitalism. How it's floating out of control.
It is funny how the capitalism of the mid '80s is, it is an element of the movie and like a theme of the movie, whether or not the writers really have any understanding or control of it.
Sure.
It's just there.
I mean, they really are making an argument for socialism. Besides the McDonald's scene,
Well, like, are you saying the elves are socialists?
of course, they're all happy working, doing their like union jobs, like them singing and dancing and stuff while they work. That's just what like union labor looks like.
Of course, but they don't explain where the supplies come from. They
Oh,
don't explain where the magic comes from.
the
They don't
indigenous
explain-
communities that are being exploited for the elves' benefit.
They just make it's just magic.
Yeah, I guess in a magical world, socialism could exist. Is what the movie's saying.
Of course, in a fucking
Not in the real world.
in a cartoon.
Yeah, I do appreciate that this movie is like a less Christian movie than Ernest Saves Christmas.
Oh yeah.
This is like the opposite of Keep Christ in Christmas. This
What do you
movie,
think? I feel like a lot of Jews worked on this movie.
but there's a Jew. John Lithgow's henchman is like a wormy Jewish guy, but maybe that's just them like trying to throw us off their scent.
It's clever, wacky Jews.
Yeah,
The other thing about this movie that we should say is that John Lithgow is completely hilarious. Like he's so funny in this movie. Like his over the top acting is easily the best thing about the movie.
totally. I mean, that's kind of what he did. I feel like, that was his thing, was being really chewing the scenery.
Yeah,
You know?
stealing movies.
I do like when movies have that subtle inbred thing for the rich person characters. You ever see like old
I don't,
picture?
I don't. I don't know
What?
what you're talking about.
He has fake teeth that are like big teeth, and that's like a rich person, like a royal family sort of shit. Like they give him like Prince Charles teeth, and I think a lot of old money families have that weird quality. Like Trump used to look way more of an inbred royal person than he does now. I don't know what he did. I don't know if he got. I think, but he used to have like bigger teeth. Look,
See, when I think of an inbred, weak European aristocracy, I think of like small, effete, hemophiliac,
Bendy comes.
like kind of people, like very sullen. Like, did you ever see Mr. Destiny with John Belushi
No,
or Jim Belushi? Jim
of
Belushi.
course.
Like his kids in that movie, those are like effete, rich kids. They're like sullen and weak, and
Yeah, I get
pale.
it, but they're still like the royal family in England like has these facial characteristics that just look like there's some inbreeding, or maybe it's just like a British thing. I don't know.
Well, the royal family is not. I don't think they're British. I think they're German.
What? Did
Yeah.
that? Do English people know about this?
Yes.
Okay, that would have been a fucking
They're
huge bomb if you were the first person to break that.
well because they would the royal family is so inbred that they would inbreed amongst other royal families, and then
Right.
yeah, the Windsors. I believe they're from Germany originally.
Well, yeah, I really liked. I would say more than anything, if you want like a Santa vibe, this movie is like that vibe. If you're a fucking weird psycho who wants to live in like a wooden toy world for an hour, you could watch the first hour of this movie and you
I mean,
get that vibe.
I think this is a fun like movie to watch with someone if you want to laugh at a bad movie and you want to just see like a ridiculous spectacle.
Yeah, the spectacle is honestly worth it, I think, because it like does the spectacle well.
Well, you just can't believe it. You just can't believe a movie
Can't
like
believe
this
it's
was
Santa.
made and cost this much money and so much
Yeah.
money is thrown on the screen, and it was very unsuccessful. It had
Oh, it was a bomb.
yeah, negative reviews. It was a bomb. You know, it's a piece of shit. It's just like everybody saw right through it.
Right. Yeah. I mean, like, imagine how lame the kids who wanted to go see this movie must have been. Fucking like the biggest, most weenie kids possible. You know?
Are you implying that I was a weenie?
Yes. Yeah, yeah.
I remember, like, so I
Little
haven't
weenie boy.
watched this movie since I was 5 years old. So the only things I remember were I remember Dudley Moore. I remember John Lithgow. Um, I remember the kids floating and eating the candy. I remember the McDonald's scene, and I remember the Joe and Cornelia, like the scene where she like makes him dinner that one night.
I'm picturing you watching the movie and having the exact same hair as Cornelia at 5 years
Basically,
old.
I had to have like a bowl cut
Yeah.
with freckles, but I mean, there's no reason to watch this movie. Really, it's
It would,
just fucking terrible.
yeah, it is. But I don't know. Like, yeah, like the spectacle, the staging, the cinematography is really good for the most part.
It's completely hilarious when he does the super duper looper at the end.
Yeah, it's a pretty badass climax.
So, where would you rank our Christmas movie so far?
I actually made some adjustments after this movie because do you want to say what you gave this movie?
Yeah, I gave it 1 star.
Santa Claus the movie?
Yeah,
You did? I thought you gave it 3 stars.
I did that to trick you.
Nice. Well, it worked.
Well, what did you give the movie, Adam?
Well, okay, so I've made some adjustments on all of my Christmas movies since this movie. So I adjusted my Ernest Saves Christmas score from 2.5 to 2. Don't be shocked. Don't be too shocked about this. And I actually adjusted the Silent Night, Deadly Night as well, even though they're obviously different movies. I adjusted that one, down one. I'd put that as a 3.5. I made it a 3. Really, this is just about like what a 3-star movie means. I think I was kind of figuring that, or kind of remembering that, and being like, I don't know, and kind of reevaluate. But and then this movie I gave 2.5. So that's really funny though that you you set me up on it.
Well, because Adam, like, I feel like Adam, every time I look at a movie score Adam gives, it's like half a star next to my score. So I wanted
I
to,
know that I know you think that has something to do with you because you're an unrelenting narcissist.
that's right.
But well, I was when I was watching this movie, I was like, fuck, this movie is so yeah, like the story is so bad and stuff, but the spectacle, I was genuinely like thought they did a good job with everything besides the story basically, which is a weird thing for a movie to like the one thing to not be good, but other movie things in the movie to be good. So, and then I was kind of trying to handicap it a little bit because I just was like, how hard would it be to make a movie about Santa, you know? And then the ending, I thought it made me be like, okay, this feels like fucking something happens at the end. And I thought the movie actually got good when we saw Dudley Moore's sleigh that he made with the
That,
John Lithgow. I was like, oh, this movie is something now, and it's kind of fun to watch. This
yeah.
competing Santa thing.
The first half hour just is like, you're on downers, you know, you're getting,
Yeah, barbiturates.
yeah, you're getting like lulled, you know, you're just like
Yeah,
falling asleep. You're so bored. You
yeah,
can't believe how stupid it is and how expensive it is. And then when like John Lithgow comes in and Dudley Moore are just there's some semblance of a plot, you kind of wake up and then like when he does the super duper looper, you're like, oh, okay, so that was pretty funny. That's ridiculous. So like the moral of the story is if you're gonna make a movie, just have a big finish, you know?
oh yeah, totally. And then people will forget about the shitty movie that preceded it. But wait a
Yeah.
minute, you gave this movie less stars than Ernest Saves Christmas.
Yeah. Because I
Wow.
like Jim Varney. Ernest Saves Christmas is technically a half star movie, but I like Jim Varney that much. I
No, how
give it
could you
an
say
extra
that?
star.
Where's your Christmas spirit?
I mean, this is a better made movie than Ernest Saves
Yeah,
Christmas.
yeah.
I mean, the visual effects in Ernest Saves Christmas are fucking terrible compared to this movie.
What are you talking about?
And honestly, the completely boring nature of the Joe and Santa storyline in Ernest Saves Christmas, I think this story is more interesting.
Yeah, I mean, it's just fucking who cares about Santa? I want to tell that to the kids I see. Just be like, look, the Santa guy, he's not that interesting. Okay?
You just like him because he gives you presents,
Yeah.
but
Wake up.
you're not thinking about what those presents cost.
That's me talking to kids in line to sit on Santa's lap at the mall.
Don't do it. Don't. Oh, God
You're going to
damn
sit on
it.
his pants tent.
And Santa Claus just doing reverse cowgirl, just pile driving a kid.
Yeah, totally. Yeah, that's why that's why you sit on his lap like that because reverse cowgirl is Santa's favorite position.
Just imagine like the ugliest male porn actor you've ever seen in any porn
Yeah.
in your life, and that guy's Santa Claus,
Yeah.
fully nude, just raping a child family member of yours.
Oh man. Now I'm getting pissed.
Yeah,
Fuck.
that's what Santa Claus is.
I gotta go kill a Santa. Gotta go
That
punish
would
a
be a
Santa.
funny. That's the one thing they've like with like Silent Night, Deadly Night. You know, that's the one thing they never did in a Santa movie, which just makes Santa a child molester.
Yeah. Well, that movie's waiting to be written by you.
Like Jaws, but Claus,
Nice.
and it has like the Jaws music,
Yeah.
and it's like a little kid. It's like blah blah, and he's just like in a store, like I'm gonna go look at the toys, okay, mom? She's like, okay, sweetie. Blah blah.
And Santa swear.
And you see his hat. You see Santa's hat,
Oh
like
yeah.
behind an aisle,
Yeah.
like moving.
Slowly moving. All right. Yeah, that is scary. Like the shark
And
fin.
Roy Scheider's like the mall security. He's just like looking around,
Yeah.
and the
With
mayor's
binoculars.
like, That mall will be open for Christmas.
There's somebody
He's
in the
like,
store molesting kids. We're not shutting the store down till we find this guy.
and they're like, we caught your Santa Claus. And they like cut open this like fat Santa Claus guy.
Yeah.
They're
He's like,
like, well,
that
I
wasn't the
guess
one.
that wasn't the one. Look at that license plate from Texas. That's golf. That's a golf Santa.
They just killed a guy who wasn't molesting kids. He was just wearing a red shirt.
What would Quint's story be? His monologue instead of the USS Indianapolis. When I was a boy, our school bus crashed. And we were lost in the woods.
It just tells a story about when he gets molested.
And this old man
That's
with
the
a beard
only-
just molested all the boys and girls. That
Um,
guy's like a doll's eyes.
Damn. Claus sounds good.
They're sharing scars.
Yeah. Emotional scars.
Richard Dreyfuss is like, look at my asshole. See that? When I was a boy, the Easter Bunny fucked my ass.
Just spreading it open in front of Quint and
I got that
Rob
beat.
Schneider.
I got that beat. Look at this.
Yeah. Maybe his penis has bite marks on it from the Santa.
Santa Claus put a nutcracker right on the tip of my penis.
Yeah.
Bit it off.
Yeah.
And then they're like staring at him. That's the story he tells. They're just like horrified.
Yeah.
And it's a long monologue. It's like, he bit my penis off with a nutcracker.
Yeah.
No distress signal was sent.
They're just in the break room of this department store.
It's like people coming in and getting coffee and donuts. Like, hey, you guys gotta leave? You can't drink here. Get the fuck out of the store.
Yeah. Damn, dude. I'm so glad we fucking watched all these Santa movies.
We got one more.
What? Oh, fuck. This one is going to be more of a funny bad movie, though, right?
Dial Code Santa Claus. It's not like a bad movie.
Oh,
It's
okay.
it's more of an extremely misguided movie. It's directed by this visual effects guy
Fucking A, I can't believe it.
who cast his own son in the lead role, and it's pretty shocking how similar to Home Alone it is.
Let's talk about it next week.
But
right.
I thought it was pretty good.
All right. Well, I'm excited then. I do still believe in Santa.
Adam, let me ask you one final question.
Okay.
What do you want for Christmas?
Bendy come.
That's not what they're called.
What it isn't? I hear you typing. What does Santa Claus call the elves and his toys? That's something you're Googling as a 37-year-old man.
Vendicum.
Vendy?
Vendicum with a Q. Vendequum.
That'd have been cool if it was spelled C-U-M.
What a great movie.
Yeah, this is great. Thanks for picking it this week.
The director made Jaws too.
That's cool.
What a hack.
It'd be fun to watch this movie or like the Santa Claus movies and then the Superman movies and like do side by sides.
Yeah, dude.
That'd be a good way to spend your time. Spend my
Yeah,
last
like-
2 weeks before the baby comes doing that. Really detailed side by side comparison.
Yeah, and you like send it to the Criterion Collection. They're just like, why did you send this to us?
Yeah, they have me arrested.
You're like, I'm trying to get a book published about the similarities of Santa Claus the movie,
Yeah.
Superman.
Yeah. Thanks for listening, everybody. Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas.